I ended my engagement after finding out my fiancé was living a double life. Then his sister wore my wedding dress to her party and destroyed it. Plus update. So I never thought I would be posting like this, but here it goes. Fair warning, this will be long, so please bear with me. For context, I mid-30s female was engaged to my fiancé early 40s male. Let's call him Kevin. We met in our country club, through mutual friends in a group setting, and we did hit it off. I was working back then as a director and at a very high level of seniority, with 30 people under my guidance, and I never treated them as a boss. Always being fair in my job with my subordinates, flexible hours. Wasn't too concerned with when they arrived at work as long as they delivered the tasks correctly and made sure they got their semi-annual pay raise and the annual profit share, and never fired anyone unless it was the last resort. My ex-fiancé didn't care too much about what I did for a living cause he sees himself as the provider and always tried to minimize my work when asked about me. At first, I didn't want to end up alone and thought maybe if I just held on a little longer things would sort of get fixed in a way of sorts. But inevitably, what happened was that he resented me, and I found that out through our group of friends. As an engaged couple, he would always try to take the lead in things, never giving me a chance to speak my mind, and then telling me when we were alone that I am a moron and an idiot for dreaming big. The company I worked at, I was the youngest director under the age of 40, and for some odd reason that made his blood boil. Always arguing. The better I did at work, the worse we did, and so to try and smooth things over, I did submit my resignation letter, and my contract got terminated by the end of June 2023. I was paying more attention to him, just like he wanted, and stopped everything that he didn't want me doing to make him happy. I am a hopeless romantic and I adored him. Don't judge me too harshly. As we started preparing for the wedding, and I bought a new apartment for us and went furniture shopping, things were starting to get better bit by bit, or so I thought, until I was at a cafe with friends and we were waiting for him, only for him to reject my calls. At first I tried to brush it off, thinking traffic, until my friends told me they had to leave and I was waiting in that cafe alone for 4.5 hours when he showed up. His hair disheveled and his clothes looked damp, like he had a shower. I tried asking him what held him up for 4.5 hours, but he wouldn't utter a single peep about his whereabouts and tried to act like I was the crazy one, saying, "Astrid, sweetie, you are imagining things. I think you are just confused." Honestly, I was so pissed that my blood pressure was sky high that day. I went home feeling so off about everything, unable to pinpoint what the hell had happened. The very next day I got a text from an unknown number, telling me, "If you want to know the whole truth about your perfect, can do no wrong, fiancé, meet me at the same cafe you were at yesterday at 12:30 sharp." My gut feeling told me I should go, and I did, and ignored his calls that day. When I went, I found a tall, Barbie-looking girl telling me, "You must be Astrid." For description, I'm 165 cms and 57 kilos, with long reddish-brown hair and hazel eyes, but I am nowhere near looking like a Barbie. She felt so warm and welcoming and was asking me how did me and Kevin meet. I told her it was through a group meeting and mutual friends, and we kind of hit it off. She was like, "I don't want to alarm you, but I think you deserve to know the truth." I stared at her blankly, asking her what she meant, and that is when she told me that my so-perfect fiancé, who was adamant I quit my job, was actually working with his ex-fiancé in the same company before we even met, and was complaining to her about me nonstop and to his mom, and he was the very reason my friends were starting to leave me, one by one, along with his mom being the one adamant I leave my job. I tried to tell her that she was insane, and that is when she pulled a large manila envelope containing photos of him and his ex at the very same cafe we were sitting at and sitting intimately. I stayed quiet and listened to everything, went home, packed my bags, and headed for the new apartment that I had bought. Called the locksmith and had the locks changed that same day. Packed all his belongings in 3 large boxes and his suitcase that belonged to him. He had bought things for our apartment, so these were his things, and left them at the side of the road. After a half hour, I called the hotel, the caterers, the photographer, and canceled everything, and called his mom, his dad, and sister, and sent them during his sister's birthday party that was oddly enough that same day the photos of their precious son cheating. He has called saying that he and his ex didn't have intimate, and that I was blowing things out of proportion, saying that I will live to regret it, and that I am already not young, so I will end up alone. So I ask you all, am I in the wrong for having done this? Given the fact that he used to dictate every single detail about me, from my hairstyle, manicure, and clothes, to the car I drove, and everything in between. I am questioning my decision now. P.S. to those who are saying it was written by I. I really wish this was a joke or something, but it's not. All I have left is my apartment and I still don't have all the furniture. The only good thing out of this is that the apartment is fully my own and I paid for it with half of my savings. To those asking about the friend's part, he was feeding them lies, saying I was too in my head and too arrogant, and that he would come home to a house that wasn't tidy and no food in the fridge. Although I made sure never to set foot out of the house without the fridge being fully stocked with cooked food. And I mean all kinds of food. Ribeye steak, chicken pot pie, apple strudel, his favorite, custard, homemade yogurt, gnocchi, anything he wanted me to cook. I made a habit of learning it. Update: buckle up, kitty cats, because this story got crazier than a soap opera on double speed. So, I ended my engagement because my ex was the walking definition of walking red flags. Turns out, that was just the beginning. After the breakup, this man started calling me from every number known to man unknown. Blocked, probably even his neighbor's landline. He showed up wherever I went, doing his best "I am just here to talk" routine. Buddy, this isn't a redemption arc, this is creep alert level 10. But the real jaw-dropper: my wedding dress. I had left it, unfortunately, in a shared storage unit we used back when I was still engaged. His sister, yes, you read that right, wore my dress to her engagement party. Not just that, but when I asked her to return it, she sent it back looking like it had been mauled by raccoons during a vineyard brawl. Pearls ripped off, seams shredded, wine spilled all over it like it just lost a drinking contest. It was unrecognizable. I cried. Then I called a lawyer. Yes, I have filed a lawsuit against her. And I am not done yet because honestly, I don't know how to keep her away for good. Open to ideas. Restraining order. Voodoo. But and here's the glow up y'all were rooting for. I got an even better job than the one I quit for him, way better salary. Amazing hours, perks galore. Fully furnished my apartment like a queen on a mission. Dropped the extra weight, physical and emotional. And I'm basically glowing like the sun because peace greater than drama. To everyone who said I dodged a bullet, no, babes, I dodged a grenade launcher.